Hi guys, when I opened up my package from HA.com, they sent a book which seems to be like an in-house handbook on collecting, building up estates, disposing of estates, tax planning and all this kind of stuff. And I started to read it, and it's got some interesting stuff amongst the first few pages, which I thought would make an interesting video. The question they raise is, what are the top 10 reasons Heritage Auctions clients tell us that they collect, not in any particular order? And I was thinking whether those same reasons are the same reasons that I collect, and maybe to look at what are the reasons I collect, and for you guys to think about what are the reasons you collect, because it's interesting, some of these reasons are not maybe things that I may have thought of before. So let's take them in the order that they've got them in the book and see whether they apply. So the first one they've got is knowledge and learning. Does this apply to me? Well, yeah, I mean, it does, and I think that the historical part of it is interesting. I love to know and research and to learn, and to, it passes the time away. I probably, if the truth is known, spend too much time on my hobby and not enough time on business, and I might need to redress that balance sometime soon. But yeah, I agree with that. Knowledge and learning is something that a lot of people pursue, and particularly if they've got a little bit of time to pursue it. And I think that as people grow a little bit older and have a little bit more time, hopefully, and a little bit more money, then collecting and, not just coins, but collecting all manner of different things is a great way to pass the time away. So that leads into number 2, which is relaxation and stress reduction. And yeah, I mean, it is a relaxing thing. You're doing something which is totally different from the stuff you would normally do in work. So because of that, it is a relaxing thing to do. And doing things that are totally different from day to day is a great way to reduce stress as well. I think maybe one of the reasons I started it is because I was a little bit stressed out at work, in business, and one of the ways of maybe even improving my attitude towards work is to find a way to de-stress during the time I'm not working. We live in a modern world. You're never really not working. Emails arrive from all over the world, day and night, and call upon you to answer them pretty much immediately. And it's nice to have something to focus on which isn't work-related, which can also have other added benefits. So number 3 is personal pleasure. I think some of their 10 reasons are kind of interconnected. Knowledge and learning is connected with history. Personal pleasure could be relaxation, stress reduction. So it's difficult to see where these particular categories start and stop. But yeah, it is certainly a pleasure to research and accumulate things that are beautiful and desirable, and it's something that I think man has always wanted to do, and maybe in a different era it was done in a different way, but collecting is something which is a great pursuit and a great pastime. Leads on to number 4, social interaction with fellow collectors. And actually that community side of it is one of the absolute best bits of this whole thing, really. The benefits of making new friends, finding people with common ground, starting groups on Facebook, participating in forums, and the amazing YouTube community for stacking and precious metals. I think that social interaction is something that we all need, and it's something that can be quite a difficult thing to achieve with so little time, time that we have to achieve it. And of course, all those different fellow collectors are all around the world. So by interacting about a particular hobby or a particular aspect of collecting, it then lets you meet people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, all over the world, with some common spirit among them. And that can be a very pleasurable thing indeed. Number 5, competitive challenge. Well, I'm not really that competitive in many respects. I did try and create a registry set, but then somebody beat me with 1 or 2 more Britannias on NGC. But coin collecting has always been in history about competitive challenge, and I guess collecting anything, you probably want to have something that is rarer or more precious, or a lower mintage, or restricted, something somebody else doesn't have. And by that definition, the competitive challenge is certainly one of the driving factors towards collecting. Number 6, public recognition. Well, not really for me. I'm the shy, retiring type. I don't show my face on my YouTube channel. I'd like my private life and my collecting life to be pretty much divorced. I don't go after great public office with the American numismatists or the British numismatists. So really, public recognition is not really one of my particular driving factors, but it might be yours. Is it something that you go after? Do you want public recognition for your collecting and your hobby? Number 7, altruism. Leaving a collection to a museum or not-for-profit organisation. Well, I guess, that applies to some people. I know there's lots and lots of rich, wealthy people who say, well, I'm going to get rich myself, but I'm never going to give my children any money. I'm going to give it all to a dog's home, to a museum, to the National Trust, to anywhere. I don't want to spoil my kids. And there are others who spend their whole lives building something not for them to use, and something which they can leave to their children. So that's a whole other kind of area as well. Number 8, the desire to control, possess, and bring order to something. Is that your motivation? Do you like to control and possess things and bring order? I think that's a tiny bit spurious. I'd be interested. I don't think it applies to me, although you tell me whether it does. Whether you think it applies to me. Does it apply to you? Do you recognise that as one of your driving and motivating factors? Number 9, nostalgia and a connection to history. I certainly do recognise that. I think that I use coinage, for example, to feel that I'm part of history, feel the distance between now and times past, to learn about different things that maybe I never learnt about at school because it wasn't on the curriculum. And it's allowed me to research a number of things, not in a great detailed level, not to make me a scholar, but just to learn about interesting parts of history that are connected with coinage. I think that's a big driving force to a lot of collectors, and probably explains why a lot of coins that relate to historic history or nostalgia do very well and are highly desired. Number 10, the last one, accumulation and diversification of wealth. And this one is interesting. As I've explained in previous videos, I was a total spendthrift, very bad with money, very bad with credit cards. My parents were also pretty bad in that respect. I learned very bad lessons, and as a consequence, I really managed to accumulate nothing very much before I started collecting. And collecting, I believe, is an excellent way of accumulating and diversifying a portfolio to make sure that an amount of your assets are in precious metals, an amount are in something other interesting things, other collecting areas, whether it's art. I think the key thing here is to only spend money collecting things you feel you know enough about and not to be sold to. And there's a lot of people in this hobby who want to sell you things, and buying things is fine, but buying things in the right way, from the right people, at the right price, at the right time, is critical to the accumulation and diversification of wealth, and to avoid losing wealth. Many people have bought coins and collector's items only to lose an absolute fortune. And this is a book that's written by HA.com, and you need to understand that they make their money by auctioning things, by trading between collectors, but there is a 17.5% to 20% cost of transferring an item between one collector and another through the auction process. So you really do have to buy things for the long term, or very occasionally spot huge amounts of value, because a lot of the time it only takes 2 or 3 people to buy something at auction, and the only gainer is of course the auctioneer. So just some thoughts to leave you with. I'll find some nice video to play while you're listening to this, and hope you are enjoying your day, and please like and subscribe. I'd really like to get up to 5,000 subscribers, but probably just greedy. So tell your friends about this wonderful channel and ask them to subscribe too. And if you happen to watch this and you're not a subscriber, think about pressing the subscribe button and getting a regular update from the Numistaka channel.